Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome back to our second segment in the breakfast show today. And we'll be shedding light about how to apply the technological means in order to develop the education and to enhance the way of thinking of the students. To shed more light, we are very much delighted to be here, to be joined here in the studio by Professor Dr. Mostafa Ewees, Professor of Educational Psychology and Psychoanalysis. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, ma'am.
Doctor, in order to have a more convenient atmosphere of education, how we can develop the classroom as well as develop the own mindset of the students in order to be more ready to receive the material that he should be having?
Well, let me start telling you the most important factor over here that even the teachers or the educators or the people they're doing their mission about the education process so far, they have to aware about how they're going to educate their students or even anyone.
Yep.
Because education, it's not enough to say in schooling at the university. No, the way that you're walking and communicating with other people, it's a matter of what kind of the quality of education. Okay, for the teachers, okay, and I said this like 100 times, and I keep saying that they need kind of a training program. About the classroom that you mentioned, they have to be aware about the classroom management. Managerial here, something that they have to be going their perspectives. They have to feel it, they have to understand it. The most important factor over here, the psychological factor, because without that, they are not going to do any kind of mission. They are not going to do any kind of delivering.
Sorry for interruption here, but to take it from here, the psychological factor. How to work here, if I might say, on the psychological factor here for both the students and the teachers?
For the students, it's a big issue because, you know, the mentality is different from student to another student. But there is several programs. Okay, but this program can be compatible and other programs not compatible. And should the teacher to create a new programs, and it depends about the situation. And it depends about their behaviorism. Because their behavior, depending, it's going to be negative, it's going to be positive. If it's going to be negative, how he's going to convince him and trying to train him or trying to put him on the right track to convert from the negative to the positive. Because the way that he's going to behave, the way that he's going to speak, the way that he's going to use his civilized language as a linguistics. This is the most important thing. The mission for the teacher should be trained, should be aware, should be keep reading, keep looking about all the programs around the world is going to be compatible in our culture or not. Because other programs is not compatible in our culture. Okay, like if you talk about like a political issue, should be a political issue limited, okay? In the same time, should be, he's supposed to understand what is political science means, okay? And the way that he's going to saying that, enhancing that, he's going to use his psychological factor and the way that he's going to use his face expression, eye contact, body language, biomechanical stuff, getting using one of his technological thing like keynotes, PowerPoints, smart board, interactive board, stuff like that, because this is going to kill and upgrading the routine on the classroom. This is the relationship between teacher or the educators or even the professors, even with the students.
Yes. Doctor, I want to take it from here. To what extent now the new technology that was developed recently did affect somehow the behavior and the psychological background of the students? Because if I might say that the students or the youth are more related now or more addicted, if I might say, to their technological equipment. So did we somehow lose the one-to-one communication skills?
Yes, certainly yes, big yes, because if we're going to talk about certain countries, they are trying to let couple of people, they are really professional in supervision about the way that you're going to use the technology, even what kind of the device, even it's going to be iPad, tab, mobile stuff like that. All right, and it depends. It's going to be with a limited timing management, limited time. Okay, because after that, it's going to be kind of infected their behavior. And certain people, other countries, okay, they don't have a kind of supervision, and this is going to be affect their behaviorism, because this is going to be losing their IQ so far, losing their critical thinking, scientific thinking, and philosophical thinking, and the way that he's going to is scheduling his timing as a routine when he starts to wake up until he's going to sleep.
Yes, but how we can stop somehow? We are trying here to develop the technology in this classrooms and the way of studying, and on the other hand, we want to stop the addiction of the use to the technological equipment. And how we can do that?
For schooling and for the university, especially the schooling program from K to 12, I recommend, I created one of the programs. I just did it like 2 or 3 times, but abroad, not here. I did it like once over here, but this program is really important to educate and to train the parents. The parents, how they monitoring their kids inside house, internal or external, even monitoring and communicating with their teacher and the school administration. Because the way that he's holding his cell phone, it's an issue. Okay, the way that he's going to take limited or even after a little bit with using their time management, and he's going to take it and use it more than like 2 or 3 times, all right, this is going to be effectively about his behavior, and especially the age of between 3 years until 16 years, because after that he's going to focus for a couple of things. Educating or training the parents, okay, should focusing not for the technology so far, at the same time they have to focus about their little bit physical education, because this is going to do something that's called balanced approach, and this is going to observing about their positive behavior. This is going to be developed and implemented so far as a manner or ethical thing, because to be unethical, it's not easy, but to keep it, it's an art. And this depends about the culture.
Here, Doctor, can you tell us more about the importance of the tech programs in the classroom, and how that could be more beneficial here for the way the students is acquiring the lessons here or the teaching?
Teachers should be upgrading themselves, and they have to change the way that they're teaching, their methodology every class or every time. I'm not like I would give you an example or like a case study. You're not supposed to teach their students and they're sitting like front you like that. You can't make it circle, you can't make it like a U shape.
Yes, to have more eye contact, to have more communication.
Precisely. And at the same time, the teacher should be activating their body language and biomechanical eye contact, face expression, and let the students share with them, because the way that he's going to use using his phonetics, saying something is really interesting, it depends about what kind of a thing that they love it, and they activate it as a scientific thinking. Even what kind of the topic is, it's going to be mathematics, English, social studies, geography, any kind of those. This is the most important, because upgrading their routine, and especially in teaching methodology, it's the most important factor for any kind of teaching around the world abroad so far.
Yes. Dr. Ewees, how, in your opinion, can the technology help us to comprehend the minds of the young generation?
Technology, it's important. And it's a very important tool, okay, and I'm stressing about tool, but at the same time, you have to activate yourself to use it in the right track, okay? Because some of those, it's not going to be positive, and it's going to be doing kind of infection about their minds, their headset so far. All right, because this is going to react later as a negative or positive behavior.
Why?
Because when there's many researchers around the world, especially in Stanford, they mentioned that if you're going to stay holding your mobile or your cell phone more than 2 or 3 hours, this is dangerous about your eye contact and about your vision.
Of course.
Okay, and if you keep going to the social media too, obsessing so far too much, this is going to make you a little bit nervous. Okay, that you need to drink coffee, you need to drink tea, you need to drink a couple of hot, and this is make your physical and physiological thing
So
not
here
healthy.
it's a circle, not only
Yes.
the issue of technology
Indeed.
or
Yes.
using the
Yeah,
phone
yeah.
or the
You
app.
have to put scheduling how you're going to use your devices in the right time,
Yeah.
in the right
How
in the
that
right
could
place.
be managed, Dr. Ewees, because it's out of control, even for the parents, even for the teachers might themselves. We became addicted to our iPad or to our computers or to our phones, and even if the people are in an outing, we can find that each one is looking to his phone, or during the gathering for the kids themselves, they text while they are sitting in front of each other. So what's next? How can we prevent this disconnection here between the people?
This is the reason I'm telling you for the parents, because this is the most important family, okay, or the factor or the sector, okay, they need to get trained. This is first of all. But in the social life, even here, abroad, anywhere, three things you have to focus about it.
Yeah.
First of all, what kind of you're sleeping, and what kind of the quality of your sleeping, and how many hours, because if you add another hour, more than 6-7 hours, it's not going to be healthy. Less than that, it's not going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Secondly, what kind of the quality of your food? Okay. Thirdly, and this is the final thing, okay, the way that you activate your body structure, like you're playing sports, you're walking every day, you're just doing kind of exercising, not electronically, but other thing. And this is going to be modified with the devices. Because the way that I forgot my training, I forgot my exercising, I forgot that, you have to leave your device. Even it's going to be iPad, computer, cell phone, even if you have like what you're doing right now with me, you're shutting down your cell phone because it's your work.
Yeah.
Okay. It's healthy for you because it's give you kind of independency that
But
what you're
each
doing.
time we do have a spare time, or even we are in a family gathering, or whatsoever, we find the people here, and especially the younger generation, are somehow addicted to their devices here. And how can we stop that, and how we can gain from the technology and develop the education system and develop the mindset of the students on this regard, while not eating or losing their social connectivity by the continuous usage and addiction to the technological equipment?
This needs a training or
Yes.
consultation.
The role here of the psychoanalyzing and the psychology of the young generation, what can you tell our youth here regarding that issue?
The training and the consultation about this part, especially this part, and this is a very good and tricky question, should be modified with the people. They have experts. They have to deliver their phrases, or the generation phrases. They like it very much, and they convert it as a story.
Yeah.
Because this is going to give them kind of attention. Okay? If you creating every time, every session, every training, every consultation to do a different stories related to their minds, what they like fashion, like perfumes, like watches, like our lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're going to do kind of talking, just a kind of talking.
Yeah.
That's a medication. Okay, and if I'm going to give you kind of attention about my words, like example, like Steve Jobs was, he got a very lovely, extremely discourse analysis when he present one of his devices. Okay, people, they like to listen to him before they're going to see their device.
Yes.
Okay, the way that he's activating his linguistics, using his body language, eye contact, that's part of the training and part of the consultation. We need people like that. We need even the media focusing about their generation, especially the young generation, not to let them lose or not to let them stay away from the devices, but at least to do kind of scheduling, time management so far, how they're going to activate, and what kind of the benefits thing about devices and the suitable time and a certain time. Not every time that you're sitting more than 6-7 hours on a device. This for sure this is going to be affecting you.
To what extent that would affect the mindset here and the concentration abilities and skills of the youth if they do use the technology continuously, how that is affecting their sleep hours and the concentration of their sleeping as well, because I do believe somehow it distracts them.
We have a lot of research, it's mentioned, and I shared one of this research. Okay, if before you go to sleep, you have to check your cell phone. You go through the news, you go through your Facebook, you go through your Instagram, your social media, stuff like that. Well, you're depending your timing. Okay, if you're tired, you're going to use it more than not more than around like 2 or 3 hours. This is too much.
This is too much, I think.
Okay, until you go to sleep. And by the way, this is dangerous for your eye, for the eyeing. Okay, some of the research that they mentioned, this is getting for the eye for cancer.
Yeah.
And this is really dangerous. And again, I'm saying that needs alerting, consultation, and training for every part in every sector in every district, and not in this country, around the world.
Everywhere, indeed.
Yes.
Dr. Mostafa Ewees, Professor of Educational Psychology and Psychoanalysis, thank you so much for being our guest for today. It was a pleasure. And our dear viewers, with that we come to the end of this edition of The Breakfast Show, coming to you live by my dear colleague Amal Mukhtar and myself, Maisti Rabia. We are both signing off, and for news and updates still following us on Nile TV International. And till tomorrow with another crew, it's goodbye.